Alright, hopefully this mic's working here. Alright, so this is my DS3. I know it's been a minute since I've shown anything on this. But it's been completely overhauled. It's been modded from head to toe. I pretty much clean gutted and reworked all of the assets in it. This is the latest Convergence released, and I also pretty much plugged all of my favorite Berserk content wherever applicable. Hands down, this is still by far my favorite From Software game. I've played and beaten Elden Ring. I don't like Elden Ring more than Dark Souls 3. That goes without saying. I'm just gonna do a quick load here. This is just a random save file. I have a lot of save files here. They're in different locations, just from when I was plugging mods. So this is Convergence. Convergence pretty much overhauls DS3. None of the assets in this is the same anymore. To make it even worse, or actually even better, I went ahead and caked as many Berserk and God, I can't remember the name of it. I think Bloodborne, Berserk, Bloodborne, just pretty much any other AAA game you can think of, like Witcher 3 and even Elden Ring assets, as you can see here from this character, have been modded into the game too. So it's a pretty good amalgamation of pretty much all the coolest things I could think of. Convergence color wise, it pretty much turns DS3 into something a million times better. I actually get a Elden Ring vibe from the color scheme of Convergence. A lot of oranges and yellows, and it's a really good overhaul. It pretty much, you know, moves majority of the assets to sensible places, switches the NPCs around, put them in much smarter locations too. This is Andre's blacksmith area. And as you can see, the way the assets are set up, it's so much cooler. And everything's interactable too, which is really crazy. It's pretty insane. I noticed in Elden Ring, one thing that really stood out that is very noticeable, that was supposedly a graphical upgrade, was the addition of lip syncing. Well, if you look at Andre there, there's lip syncing in DS3. So I never understood why that was a big deal in Elden Ring. Unless I'm wrong here, in the Convergence mod added lip syncing to the NPCs, but I've always noticed that there's actually lip syncing. Um, the reason I prefer DS3 over Elden Ring is because DS3 just has many effects and things that were washed or blatantly stripped for Elden Ring's open world. And honestly, the open world isn't a good substitute for the good layout of this game in general. The Convergence mod adds a plethora of new NPCs throughout the world space. It completely overhauls the color scheme for Dark Souls 3. It's amazing. And it's not just adding these NPCs physically, but it also adds voice acting to all of the NPCs too,
Welcome, my child.
which is pretty
Farewell,
insane.
child of ash.
Not sure if you can hear it. The when my mic is on, the volume is down. But just take my word for it. The new NPCs added are all voice acted, and the voice acting is A plus. It's pretty much the same quality as the From Software voice actors, if not better. One thing I wanted to showcase here, I don't want to drag the video out, is actually something pretty unique and custom made. Aside from all these armors and assets that I've added in. By the way, I didn't just physically add in armors themselves. I've also pretty much overhauled all of the items in the game, as you can see here, which is not it adds, but it isn't limited to the icon pictures. But I also went ahead and went internal and pretty much fixed the titling or the naming for each of the items also to, you know, fit with the new things I've added in. Aside from the new items, you can see here for my weapon, the Golden Age sword, among other things that you could see here. which is like armors that I've went and renamed the Black Swordsman armor, etc. I'm very meticulous and very careful with the things that I add in, and hopefully you agree. It just all makes sense. So let's be honest. Pretty much all of From Software's games pay homage or blatantly rip content from Berserk. So that's what they were aiming for. Um, Hopefully you agree. I'm pretty consistent, and I've done a very good job of adding all these new icons and naming conventions for all of my items too. So the main thing or the crux of this video that I wanted to showcase is I've actually custom or by hand created my own ENB or a reshade for DS3. I'm going to turn it on here. It pretty much, as you can see here, transforms the game into freaking Elden Ring. This is pretty much on par, if not better. Turn it off. So it looks like. Turn it back on. It's pretty much on par, if not better than Elden Ring graphically now. If you're not playing DS3, I don't know what you're doing. DS3 is by far, hands down, the best From Software game created so far. Um, Closely following is Sekiro. I think Sekiro's pretty underrated too. But yeah, I just wanted you to. This is really for my best friend. I want my best friend to see how nutty DS3 looks with just a few mods on it. Really hundreds of mods if you add in the things I've internally added myself. But as you can see, with just a few mods and a ENB or a reshade, this game looks insane, man. It trumps Elden Ring by a long shot. It's not even funny how beautiful this freaking game looks, man. It's just insane. And yeah, that's pretty much it. God bless.